Most people believe they are in control of their lives. They wake up, they work, they consume, and they sleep deeply convinced that their choices are their own. But look closer. You are living in an architecture you did not build. You are navigating a maze designed by people you will never meet. These are the architects. They do not rule with crowns, and they do not command with armies. They rule through the forbidden laws of power. Have you ever wondered why certain individuals command a room without saying a single word? Or why you feel an unexplainable urge to follow someone you barely know? This isn't luck. This isn't charisma. This is social engineering. Today, we are opening the vault. We are moving past the basic psychology you find in textbooks. We are diving into the shadows to the laws that were meant to be kept secret. From the law of absence to the mirror effect, I will show you how the world's most powerful figures manipulate reality to suit their will. By the end of this video, you will never look at a conversation, a headline, or even your own reflection the same way again. You have two choices. You can continue to be a piece on the board, or you can learn how to move the players. The choice for now is still yours. The world operates on one fundamental principle: supply and demand. When an item is in oversupply, its value plummets. This law does not just apply to gold or oil. It applies to human relationships and the mechanics of power. Most people make a fatal mistake. They believe that the more they are seen, the more they are heard, and the more they are available, the more they will be respected. The truth is the exact opposite. Too much visibility makes you common. When you are constantly available, always present in every circle, and always ready to answer every call, you cease to be an individual, you become a habit. And it is human nature to take habits for granted. We stop valuing what is always there. The great leaders, influencers, and architects of history understood this deeply. They knew that while presence builds reputation, absence creates history. Masters think of Napoleon Bonaparte or the kings of old. Why did they remain hidden behind velvet curtains and stone walls? Why were they seen only on rare, calculated occasions? Because they knew that if they walked the streets like common men, the aura of their power would evaporate. They turned their presence into a rare resource. When you vanish, people talk. Your silence speaks louder than their questions. They begin to imagine where you are, what you are doing, and what masterstroke you are preparing next. Your absence builds a godlike image in their minds that your presence can never sustain. In our digital age, this law is more vital than ever. We live in a world where everyone is screaming for attention. People broadcast every minute of their lives, looking for validation. Those people with true power remain invisible. This is the scarcity principle. When something is difficult to obtain, the human brain automatically assigns it a higher value. If you reply to every message instantly, if you attend every party, you are devaluing yourself. You have become a commodity, something that can be found anywhere, at any time. But when you withdraw, when you suddenly disappear and force people to wonder, you seize control of their thoughts. Every word you eventually speak, every rare glimpse they get of you, becomes as valuable as gold. You are no longer common. You have become an enigma. However, heed this warning. Absence only works once you have established your value through presence. If you have achieved nothing and you disappear, the world will simply forget you. The rule is simple. First, earn enough respect to be noticed, and then choose the perfect moment to vanish so you can be missed. Master the art of leaving the room when you are at your peak. Leave them wanting more, because in the game of power, the one who is least available is the one who is most desired. Deep within the human brain lies an ancient biological mechanism that is mirror neurons. These neurons were designed for survival to help us understand and connect with others. When you see someone laugh, the same part of your brain activates as if you were laughing yourself. This is the pathway to empathy. But for the architect, this is not a pathway for connection. It is a backdoor entry into the victim's mind. This is the mirror effect. When you mirror someone, you trick their brain into believing that you and they are one and the same. Humans are biologically programmed to trust those who look, move, and act like them. This is called a soul hijack because it allows you to dismantle someone's psychological defenses without making a single sound. Make no mistake, this is not copying. If you mimic someone's every move immediately, they will sense the deception and your plan will collapse. True mirroring is a silent, slow-motion dance dot if they cross their legs while sitting. You wait 30 seconds and then you do the same. If they use specific hand gestures when they speak, you adopt the same rhythm in your own movements. The most lethal form of mirroring is speech patterning. You must harvest their specific vocabulary and feed it back to them. When a person hears their own favorite words coming from someone else's mouth, their critical thinking shuts down. They become in sync with you. They begin to feel that you understand them, when in reality, you are simply mapping them. Mirroring is not limited to body language. The true power is unleashed when you mirror their emotions. If they are fueled by anger, you reflect a calculated version of that intensity. If they are shadowed by sadness, you lower the pitch of your voice to match their frequency. Why does this work? Because the victim falls into a narcissistic trap. Every human being is in love with their own reflection. When you become their mirror, they unknowingly begin to fall in love with you. At this stage, their guard is completely gone. They begin to confess secrets they've never told. They start to view your suggestions as their own thoughts. You have hijacked their soul. They are no longer an independent agent, they have become an extension of you. The world's most elite negotiators, corporate sharks, and undercover agents use this technique for one reason: it avoids conflict. You don't force someone to agree. You seduce them into surrender. Have you ever met someone and felt an instant, unexplainable bond, as if you've known them for a lifetime? Perhaps they were truly a kindred spirit, or perhaps they were simply holding up a mirror. Architects know that true control is not seized at the point of a sword. True control is when the victim walks into the cage voluntarily, smiling the whole way. Mirroring is the invisible cage being woven around us every single day. But there is a danger on this path. When you spend your life mirroring others, you risk losing your own identity. If you become a mirror to everyone, you might eventually forget who is standing in front of it. This is why the architect always maintains a cold, internal distance. He mirrors, but he never becomes the mirror. He remains cold on the inside, while projecting exactly what the victim needs to see on the outside. Until now, we have discussed how one individual controls another. But the architect does not just sit in rooms, he sits in systems. This is called social engineering. It is the dark art of steering an entire society toward a specific destination, without ever using a weapon or a cage. Think about it. How did you decide which phone you needed? How were you convinced that a certain style of clothing makes you cool? You believe these are your choices, but in reality, these are the invisible strings tied to the buttons of your fear and your desire. The goal of social engineering is to reduce a human being to a predictable pattern, a creature whose every move is known before it is even made. In the digital realm, these strings have become thinner, yet stronger than steel. Every like you give, every video you pause on for 5 seconds too long, provides the architect with a psychological blueprint of your soul. They know when you are lonely, when you are angry, and exactly when you are most vulnerable. Social engineers weaponize your fear. They manufacture urgency, limited time offer, breaking news, the world is ending. These are not headlines. They are triggers. They are designed to bypass your logical mind and hit the amygdala, the brain's fear center. When you are afraid, you stop thinking and start following. You become part of the digital herd, which is exactly what the architect wants: a population that does not question, but only consumes. Fear alone is not enough. Social engineering also hijacks your desire. This is dopamine engineering. Every red notification is a digital hook, planting a tiny seed of hope in your brain. The architects have turned the world into a vast casino where the house always wins. They show you exactly what you want to want. They sell you a cure for your loneliness and offer products to fill the void of your self-doubt. The greatest lie of social engineering is the whisper that you need more. And in this endless pursuit of more, you surrender your most valuable asset, your attention. This manipulation is not confined to your screen. Have you ever wondered why milk and bread are always at the very back of the grocery store? It is a nudge. It forces you to walk past 1,000 items you didn't need, hoping your engineered desires will take over. On a grander scale, governments and corporations build narratives. They mirror public opinion back to you until you believe that what everyone is saying must be the truth. Humans are social animals. We fear being cast out of the tribe. Social engineers use this hunger for social approval. They manufacture trends. They engineer popular opinions, and you adopt them, believing they are your own thoughts. The most dangerous form of social engineering is subliminal programming. That happens beneath your conscious awareness. The subtle shift in background music, the repetition of a specific color, the strategic use of keywords in every speech. When a lie is repeated 1,000 times, the brain eventually accepts it as reality, no matter how absurd it is. The architect designed your reality so quietly that you are convinced you are free. But what is freedom? If your likes, your dislikes, and your very thoughts were designed by an algorithm or a marketing team, are you truly free? Or are you just a lab rat running through a high-tech maze? Social engineering only works as long as you are sleepwalking. The moment you see the wires, their power snaps. When you realize that urgency is a trap, that trends are a distraction, and that desire is a manufactured loop, you become dangerous to the system. You begin the journey from a user to an architect. But the first step on this path is the most difficult. You must admit that you are being controlled. Long pause, because the slave who falls in love with his chains can never be set free. By now, you've seen how the world plays chess with your mind. But the secret to winning this game isn't becoming a better player. The secret is leaving the board entirely. Real power is not lying and controlling others. True power lies in becoming uncontrolled. The architect can only manipulate what is predictable. They thrive on those who react, those who burn with anger when wrong, those who run toward the scent of greed, those who bow when faced with fear. The moment you seize control of your reaction, you become an error in their system. You become a mystery that no algorithm can decode. Your enemy, for this society, presses your buttons and receives nothing. The balance of power shifts. They are no longer leading you. They are fearing your silence. You become uncontrollable. You must master the first principle, attachment. Never let your desires and fears become so cheap that they can be bought by a headline or a notification. When you no longer crave approval, you are used to narrative. When you understand the weight of your own actions, walk out of the trap of social engineering. Master the limits to the attention. In the world of 2026, attention is the only currency that matters. Every act, every word, every trendy scam is a precision engineered from inside to steal your focus. The individual who can control how they look is the most powerful being in this century. You do not become part of the crowd. You observe the crowd. You do not join the noise. You study it from the shadows of your own silence. This observer state is the birthplace of the true architect. This freedom is not a gift. It has a price. And that price is your dopamine. You cannot fight a system while your brain is a slave to a new hit every 30 seconds. You cannot see the invisible strings and your eyes are blurred by cheap pleasure. To escape the maze, you must first reset your biology. You must dismantle the cage that digital engineers have built around your nervous system. You do not own your chemistry. You never own your life. Question: do you truly wish to be free? Or have you grown to love the vibration of your chains? If you are ready to delete the program, if you are ready to step out of this digital world, your next lesson begins where your addiction is. I have prepared a glimpse into how these dopamine loops were designed to turn you into a platform, and exactly how you can break them down to understand the mechanics of your own habits. Live carefully in the video and witness how they turn your brain into digital systems. I am waiting for you, because the game has only just begun.